Okay, so today we're going to finish up hyperbolas. So this is still section 7.5, but we'll call it hyperbolas, day 2. All right, so let's get going. I would like you to find the components of the hyperbola, but the equation is going to look a little bit different. What if I told you that we had 9x squared minus 36x plus 36 is equal to 4y squared plus 24y plus 72. First thing we'll do is get all the x's and y's on the same side, and the number should be on the other side. So let's go ahead and group things like we usually do when we go to complete the square. I'll bring this y over. We'll bring this y over. And I'll bring the 72 over as well. Alright, so we could factor out a 9, and we're left with x squared minus 4x. Take out a 4, we have y squared plus 6y. And we'll just combine these numbers here. That would be negative 36 is equal to 0. So now I'm going to go ahead and take half of negative 4 and square it. 4 times 9 is 36, so I'll subtract 36. Half of 6 is 3, 3 squared is 9. 9 times negative 4 is negative 36. I'm going to subtract negative 36. So just be careful with that, it's not a big deal. Let's clean things up. This would be 9 times x minus 2 squared minus 4 times y plus 3 squared. And if we bring these numbers on the other side, these are going to cancel, and you'll just get 36. Well, we want to have it equal to 1, so let's divide everything by 36. And we get x minus 2 squared over 4 minus y plus 3 squared over 9 is equal to 1. And then we could find our components. This looks like it's horizontal because the x comes first. A squared is 4, b squared is 9. So let's get into this. We know that a would be 2, b would be 3, and c squared would equal a squared plus b squared. So c squared would equal 4 plus 9, which is 13. All right, so our center would be 2, negative 3. The coordinates of the vertices, because it is horizontal, we would go from 2, negative 3. We'd go 2 units this way, 2 units this way, and get our parabola. So 2 plus or minus 2 comma negative 3. We could go 3 units in this direction and this direction. So let's talk about the length of the transverse. Would be 2 times 2, or 4 units. The length of the conjugate axis would be 2 times 3, or 6 units. The foci, coordinates of the foci, are along the transverse axis, so it's going left and right. And we're going left and right root 13. So those, and then we could also talk about the slope of the asymptotes just by looking at the picture. We would be going up and down 3 over 2 units. All right, maybe we'll do a couple more. Let's do a vertical. We haven't done a vertical in a while. So let's say we have 4y squared minus x squared minus 16y plus 2x is equal to negative 11. We get all the terms on the same side here. All right, now we're ready to go. So let's factor out a negative 1. We have x squared minus 2x. take out a 4. We have y squared minus 4y. Well, taking half and squared, we get 1. Taking half and squared, we get 4. 4 times 4 is 16, so we're going to subtract 16. 1 times negative 1 is negative 1. We're going to be subtracting negative 1. So let's clean everything up. This would be negative 1 times x minus 1 squared plus 4 times y minus 2 squared. And this would be 12, so this would be 4, something like that. We could divide everything by 4. Remember, hyperbolas are always equal to 1. And we get negative x minus 1 squared over 4 plus y minus 2 squared over 1 is equal to 1. So clearly this looks a little bit different. We know that hyperbola should have a negative in the middle. So I'm just going to take this and just put it behind this term. So really our actual equation would look like this. Y minus 2 squared over 1 minus x minus 1 squared over 4 is equal to 1. So now everything looks good. And let's find the same things we had before. All right, so our center, looking at this, it's a little bit mixed up, but remember our h is always with the x and our k is always with the y. So the center would be 1, 2. The a is always first, so if a squared is 1, that means a is 1. Second number is b, so b squared would be 4, b would be 2. So because this is vertical, the y comes first. The graph's going to look something like this, where we're going 1 unit up and down. We're going 2 units right and left. So therefore, the length of the transverse would be 2 times 1, or 2 units. You have to say units, otherwise I would take off points. The length of the conjugate would be 2 times 2, or 4 units. The actual slopes, well, if you look at your picture, you're going up 1 and over 2. Sometimes people switch those because they don't have a picture. The vertices, it looks like we're going up and down 1 unit. So our center is 1, 2. But because we're going up and down to get the vertices, we're going to be adding 1 to the y value. And to finish this one up for our focus, or our foci, we know c squared is a squared plus b squared. So c squared would be 1 plus 4. C would just be root 5. The foci would be always on the transverse axis. So we have our center 1, 2, but because the foci are on the transverse axis, it's going up and down, so we put root 5 right there. All right, maybe we'll do one more, and I'll give you your homework. This problem looks like this. What if we had 3x squared minus 4y squared minus 12x plus 24y equals 36. We'll group our x's. And let's see. We can take out a 3. Take out a negative 4. And half of negative 4 is 2. 2 squared is 4. So if that's 4, 4 times 3 is 12, we could subtract 12. Half of negative 6 is negative 3. Squared is 9. 9 times negative 4 is negative 36, so we're subtracting negative 36. So we get an equation 3 times x minus 2 squared minus 4 times y minus 3 squared would equal 36 would cancel, and you would just get equals 12. We want to have it equal 1, so we could divide everything by 12. And we get x minus 2 squared over 4 minus y minus 3 squared over 3. And our center here would be 2 comma 3. I know that a squared is 4, b squared is 3. So the vertices, let's say it's horizontal because the x comes first, so it's going to look something like this. Just draw a very, very rough picture. A is 2, and b would go the opposite direction. Look something like that. The slopes, just looking at our pictures, would be plus or minus root 3 over 2. The length of the transverse would be 2 times 2, or 4 units. The length of the conjugate axis would be 2 times root 3, which is 2 root 3 units. The coordinates of the vertices, well, we're going left and right 2, so that's going to be 2 plus or minus 2 comma 3. And the foci, well, c squared is a squared plus b squared. So if we know a squared is 4, b squared is 3, c is equal to root 7. And the foci are always on the transverse axis. In this case, the transverse goes left and right. So we are going to say the center, but we're going to be going left and right root 7 units. All right, so I hope that makes sense. For homework today, what I would like you to do is on page 445. I would like you to please do numbers 9, 13, 14, 16, 17, 33, 35, and 38. All right, so please try those out and have a nice day.